She already knew her narcissist ex hated to see her confident and happy. She had been through so much already. She survived years of him stalking and taunting her. After she finally left him, she put herself through 7 years of university, raised her daughter on student loans, and finally she earned her veterinarian degree. She was accomplished, but still so tentative. She still looked over her shoulder. He was still around. He was lurking, but at least he had backed off a little. This is more of Annie's story, and I'm telling it for her. Everything shifted when she got her horse, a magnificent chestnut-colored athlete. She learned how to ride him, and then she started to stand a little taller. Her choices came easier. Her voice was steadier. There was something in her now that she didn't have before, kind of a strength and a certainty. And her ex noticed it. He saw what the horse gave her, not just companionship, but a certain kind of power. And he couldn't stand it. Because when a 1,200-pound a prey animal listens to you, responds to your body language, follows your lead, it does something to you. You stop shrinking, you stop apologizing, you stop thinking of yourself as too sensitive or too much. You just are. You're present in the moment. You're clear with your intentions. You are just alive. That horse saw her and in some quiet, invisible way gave Annie permission to believe in herself again. And that was unacceptable to him. In an earlier podcast, I shared something pretty dramatic that happened, how her ex tried to harm the horse, maybe even fatally, how far he was willing to go, not just to punish her, but to destroy the source of her strength. It wasn't just the bond that enraged him, it was what the bond represented: freedom, connection, confidence. But what I didn't tell you was that wasn't the first time something like that happened. Years before, in the early days of their marriage, Annie had a little beagle, just a small dog, kind of aloof by nature. That's the way beagles are. But this one, I don't know, she was really special. Of course, she was loyal. She was so soulful. She was a dog that just didn't obey. She seemed to understand that kind of human animal bond that doesn't really make sense on paper. It's still completely undeniable when you actually witness it. She had rescued this little dog, and the dog, in her own quiet way, rescued Annie right back. And Santino, he saw it and he hated it. He hated the time that the dog took away from him. He hated how Annie was just so happy and it would light her up when she was with her dog. He hated that even in the most quiet corners of their home, Annie had someone to love who wasn't Santino. It's hard to talk about what happens next, not because it's unclear, but because some cruelty is hard to repeat. But the truth is, he made sure the dog disappeared. I'll just leave it like that. And when he did so, he did it so Annie would know right away. He made sure that she didn't get to have anything that would bring her joy unless it came through him. That night, after the dog disappeared, he picked her up by her feet and turned her upside down and told her that he made all the decisions in the house, that nothing in the house was hers, not the furniture, not the air, not the love, not even their daughter. That's a kind of violence that doesn't leave a bruise. You can, but, but it so drastically changes something in you. So when people ask why survivors stay or why it takes so long for them to find their voice again, find themselves again, I think of that little beagle, that little dog who was more than a pet to Annie. She was a symbol of what was still good, still loving, still safe. And when that was taken, so was Annie's sense of home. But that's not where the story ends, because years later, like this, standing beside her in a big open field was a red thoroughbred. Something returned to Annie. It wasn't loud. It didn't come with the big announcement. It was just so real. She gave a cue, and the horse listened to her, not because he had to, but because he trusted her, and she knew it. That trust, it helped Annie trust herself again. So if someone ever tried to punish you by hurting what you love, if they were cruel to your dog or threatened your cat or turned your horse into a battlefield, this one is for you. You were not crazy to feel broken by that. You were not too emotional. You were hurt in the most sacred part of yourself. And if you're slowly finding your way back, if a bird on your windowsill or a nuzzle from your dog gives you peace, you're not alone. And you know what else? You're not alone here. Sometimes the love we're denied by people comes back to us through paws and hooves, maybe wings. And that love, it counts. It counts in a big way. I'm Kyle Hackley, attorney and author of Undercurrent and the host of the Are You Annie podcast. As always, I want you to remember that you are stronger than you ever knew. You are a warrior against narcissistic abuse. And I want you to be tenacious and never, ever give up on what's important to you. Until next episode, please take care of yourself. I know that you're here. Thank you so much, and bye.